Welcome back. So let's make a small math application. It's going to be very boring, but we're going to be able to add two numbers right now. That's all we can do. But we're going to say we can put in a number here and we can put in a number here, and they'll be added together, right? So that's kind of the goal of the lesson. Let's try and go into our code here. Now, first of all, let's do a bit of cleanup because I have a lot of information here. I have this big icon, I have these links down here. Now, by the way, if you guys have the time, go and do the tour of heroes. It's an awesome tutorial. It's pretty long, but you can decide to go as far as you want, and it'll explain a lot of the stuff I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of skipping a few steps, so go and watch this tutorial if you have the time. It's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up here, so I don't want the image anymore. And by the way, let me just, right now you'll see the image is something called a base64 encoded string. So if I go here, this is actually an image. This huge string right here is an image, and that's, I can show you, this is long. That's actually how we send images over the wire. So just a side note, that's how we send images by base64 encoding them. Might be valuable later on in your career as we start working with images, and I'll show you later. Let's get that out of the way. Now we have H2 with all of these links. Let's get those out of the way. Now we have a pretty simple page right here. Welcome to Awesome Hi All. Strange name, but doesn't matter. Now I want to put the first input field is going to be like the first value, and the second input should be the second value, and then I want to kind of combine them down here. So to do that, let's start out by making two new properties. So going into the app components here, I'm just going to delete the title property because I don't want that anymore. I'm going to create two new properties. First of them is going to be called first value, and let's just start by putting it to 0. Now then we also are going to have a second value, and that's going to be 0 as well. There we go. So now we have two values available, and this is how simple it is to actually create properties inside an app component, inside a class. So let's try and use these inside our HTML now. So we go back to the HTML, and instead of title, I just put in first value and second value. There we go. Now we actually bound them to the model. So the last thing we need to do is kind of just add them down here. So let's just for now add them and show you that this works. Double curly bracket like before. We have first value. I'll do a plus in between. This will be rendered as normal text, right? So as normal text. And every thing inside the double curly bracket, that's a property that will be rendered as whatever is inside the property right now. So that'll be 0 plus 0 on our page. But let's have a look and see if it actually did return that. So I'm going back here and let's just have a look at the browser. There we go, 0, 0, and 0 plus 0. So if I'm putting in a value now, it'll change, and D is not a good value. Let's try and put in 22 and 22, or 212. 221, that's what it says. So that works now, great. Now we want to kind of equal this, so we'll do an equal sign, and then we want to bind them together, right? So we'll say first value plus second value. And you can actually also make equations directly in here. So I'll say first value plus second value, right? Because I'm inside the curly brackets, this will now be a plus sign. Now there's a problem. Let's just try and see what we got. Because actually 1 and 1, this is actually 10 right now, and this is 11, because it kind of merges these guys together as strings. You probably already saw this issue inside the C# tutorials, but how do we fix that? Well, a very quick solution that I actually seen a lot of developers encourage is just to do ×1 and ×1. Because now Angular framework will automatically say, okay, so now this is not going to be a number anymore, it's a string anymore, it's going to be a number plus another number, and then it actually knows how to multiply, add these guys together. Good. Let's see this again. So we say 1 plus, there we go. Now you notice that it's already up and running. So let's start just putting in some numbers. What if I put in a D? It says not a number. So I don't explode, I'm informed that that's not a number, right? NaN, not a number. That's a JavaScript message for using something that's not a number. Good. So now we kind of made a small application that can start actually adding values together. Next, let's have a look at how we could do this inside a method instead of actually writing the code directly in here, because this is a simple formula, but what if we want to do something a lot more complex? See you next time.